Hey guys, what's going on? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Frank here, and today we're going to be reacting to a viral TikTok video where a girl claims that vaping destroyed her back or caused her back pain. So let's check out that video real fast.
Basically, I'd been having a lot of really bad lower back pain, and I got an MRI and I went to my doctor. And basically, there's these things called discs in your spine, and I think they're in between your vertebrae, whatever. It's like soft tissue. They're supposed to show up like white and thick, kind of in your MRI. My lower ones in my lower back were like almost black and like really squished down. And the doctor said that that's how like people in their 50s should look, not someone my age. I'm 22. And he asked if I vaped. And I had been vaping for like 4 years or something, and he said that nicotine actually changes the chemical makeup of your discs and causes them to essentially deteriorate. So stop vaping so that you can walk by the time you're 30. Thank you.
Okay, so in that viral TikTok video, which got about 3.2 million views at this point, that young lady was talking about experiencing low back pain resulting from nicotine, the addictive substance found in vapes. And the question is, well, Dr. Frank, is that true? Can that really happen? And the answer is yes, absolutely. As someone who suffers from low back pain myself, more specifically a condition called osteoporosis, which we're going to talk about from years of using tobacco products, vaping, smoking cigarettes, chewing tobacco, I can guarantee you it's 100% true. Now, before I talk about what your back looks like and her injuries and what she's dealing with, I want you to understand something. Nicotine is the drug. Nicotine is the substance. So whether you're taking it in the form of a cigarette, whether you're taking it in the form of a vape product, a Nicorette gum, a nicotine patch, nicotine is the substance causing the damage. It doesn't matter how you're getting it into your blood and into your body. Nicotine is the problem. So let's talk about her problem that she described a little bit more specifically. Well, in the case of this video, what she was describing was low back pain. So this is what your spine actually looks like from behind, if you can see this. These are the bones in your neck, the bones in your mid back, and then we come down here to your low back. This would be where your buttocks is, or your pelvis region. Now, down here in your low back, you have your vertebrae, okay? These are the bones, these white things. In between each of your vertebrae, you have these disc spaces, all right? These things act as shock absorbers or cushions. You can think of these as jelly donuts, okay? There's liquid material inside these disc spaces, and it's very important that these disc spaces remain hydrated over the course of life, because if they become dehydrated, like she was describing, you can start to experience some serious pain in your low back, and I'll describe why. So we have our vertebrae, we have our disc spaces, and then you have your nerves exiting out of each side of your back, these yellow things, okay? These nerves exit out of your back and they run down your legs, or they exit out of your neck and they run down your arms. Nerves are responsible for motor movements, they're responsible for reflexes, and they're responsible for sensation, the hot, cold, numbness, tingling, pain. Nicotine decreases the blood flow to these disc spaces. When the blood flow to these disc spaces is decreased, you also don't get the proper nutrients delivered to those areas. And what happens over time is the cells inside the disc space aren't receiving the food or the nutrients they need to heal and restore. So they start to dehydrate. And we'll take a look at what she described as they looked like black smushed spaces. You can see in this photo here in this MRI, see how these disc spaces look clear and white in between the vertebrae? Now check out this photo on the right side of it. Do you see how there's all these black spaces in between? That's what happens when your disc spaces become dehydrated. And that's what she's describing they saw in her MRI. And this is caused because of nicotine not allowing for nutrient absorption to get to these disc spaces. Now, that decreased blood flow is a super bad thing because it also damages the surrounding muscles and tendons in your core, the front of your body, and in your back and your back muscles. And when you don't have proper blood flow to your muscles, you're damaging or slowing down the rate at which those tissues heal. And the story gets even worse with nicotine, and I unfortunately experienced this. It's something I currently suffer from. Osteoporosis. This is a thinning of your bones. So see how this bone here is real thick? So when you develop osteoporosis, this bone becomes porous and fragile, almost like glass. Imagine it like glass. So then what happens, someone falls, someone's in a car accident, and they're more prone to breaking their bones or breaking their back. And that is also due to the decreased nutrient flow to the bones because of using nicotine products. Now this gets even scarier. I mentioned maybe God forbid you fall. Maybe God forbid you're in a car accident. Well, the worst thing a surgeon wants to hear after they do a surgery, let's say they got to go in and do surgery on your back, is that they're dealing with someone who uses nicotine. Nicotine makes for a much more likely scenario of a failed spinal surgery, a failed fusion, a non-union. Smoking, vaping, using nicotine products actually damages your chances of healing after surgery to a point where the surgery might not hold. So you might be vaping thinking everything's fine. Boom, one day you're in a car accident. You're rushed into the hospital for a surgery that should go well. Maybe you're younger, you're healthy. But boom, you vape and all of a sudden this surgery doesn't hold. And now you have chronic low back pain for the rest of your life. This is a very serious, very real thing that happens. Or maybe you suffer some injury, you tell your doctor you're going to quit vaping, you tell the surgeon you don't, and then you show up a few weeks later with a failed back surgery, a failed spine surgery. Remember, vaping and using nicotine also increases the inflammation in our bodies and decreases our immune system's response for healing. The more inflammation you have, and the worse immune system response you have, the more chronic pain you're going to have. Now, the good news is for a lot of you guys watching my channel, you're younger, you're still able to heal from this stuff. Geez, nicotine blocks the absorption of calcium and oxygen into your blood and into your bones. And that's also due to the increased levels of carbon monoxide found in the blood among nicotine users. Just something else I forgot about, literally blocks the absorption of calcium, which can lead to levels of elevated blood calcium, which can cause all sorts of heart problems, kidney problems. It's insane what it can do to you. Anyways, I digress. What do? Start exercising. Start doing weight-bearing exercises. If that's too much for you because you're in too much pain, consider taking yoga classes, okay? Even starting with something as simple as walking is going to help. If you are suffering from pain, reach out to our offices, talk to us. We'll give you some tips and some guidance. We can help you get to the right doctor. Chiropractic might help. Physical therapy might help. You might need steroid injections. I don't know. You might be able to fix this on your own. But reach out to our offices. There's a link in the description below if you have questions. And follow me into the next video where I talk about the timeline of withdrawals when it comes to quitting vaping. This is bad stuff, guys. No one warned me about these side effects. No one warned me.